So let's talk about what's really on the ballot this November, because it's a lot more than what you think. A lot of people think it's just, oh, I'm voting Democrat or Republican, or I'm voting for this policy or that policy. But no. It's not about that. It's not about the people running. It's not about the policy. It's not about party affiliation, Democrat or Republican. There's a lot more to it than that. So I'm actually going to simplify that for you. But first, I got to address something from my last video that I find extremely ironic. So in my last video, I talked about how we live in a nanny state, and there are language police saying, you can't say this, that's offensive. You can't say that, you have to say it this way. And I guess, I slipped and said shit like once or twice in the video. And I got a couple comments from you guys where you're saying, Mike, you should use less profanity. I love your message, but you curse too much. Sorry, this is me. Take it or leave it, And truthfully, I probably shouldn't curse as much in my videos. And to be fair to myself, I only said it like once or twice. I slip up and I say curse words. The reason why I probably shouldn't use that in my videos is not because you say so, but because, this is a sensitive time where conservatives can get censored and, get their pages banned or shadow banned, whatever. So that would be the reason why I wouldn't do it. But for the most part, it slips up. And so yeah, if you can't handle me using 1 to 2 curse words, sorry. Guess you can unsubscribe. For those of you that love profanity, I'm going to use this opportunity to plug JERICHO Green's channel. If you haven't checked him out, that man is brutally honest and he uses a lot of profanity. So I'll put a link to his channel in the description because some of us actually like that. It's really good. So anyway, I want to talk about midterm elections and what is at stake here. This is not about Ted Cruz versus Beto O'Rourke or, it's not even really about Trump. It kind of is, but it's not. And I'll tell you what I mean. So what's on the ballot, what you're going to be voting for in November are a set of values. It's values, okay? So do you value freedom or do you value bondage? Okay, so freedom. Do you want the freedom to choose and make decisions that are best for you and your family? Or do you prefer to be bonded to a state governance where decisions are made for you? Do you want free thought or do you want thought police? Like liberals, they hand out, if they could wave a magic wand, the left, they would hand out 3x5 index cards with approved opinions on there. And anyone that strays against them is subject to harsh criticism and, just unfair ridicule. Doesn't make sense. So are you for free thought or are you for having thought police? Are you for unity or are you for division? I don't know about you guys, but I went to a Trump rally and I experienced unity. People from all walks of life, people of all races, ethnicities, treating each other the same. Not saying, oh, there's some black people over there, so let's go do this and let's treat them like that. Or do you want to be on the side of division? Because the left, not only are they divided against the right, they're divided against themselves. Look at what they do with identity politics and their victimhood hierarchy. Like, well, that's a black, transgender, female, feminist, vegan, Islam from another country that's here illegally. So they rank at the top of our victimhood ladder. So therefore they get this. Instead of just saying, this is a person, this is a human, let's judge them by their character. You get what I'm saying? They're divided against themselves. And they're divided against people who disagree with their whole liberal orthodoxy. Okay, so do you want that? Do you want unity or do you want division? Do you want civility or do you want hostility? I've noticed that people on the right, the Republicans, conservatives, people who just disagree with the left in general, they tend to be more civil. They're just kind of chill. Even if they disagree with something, they're not about to take to the streets and scream through a megaphone and say all this crazy stuff. They're just chilling. They just want to live their lives. Or do you want to be on the side of hostility? Do you value hostility? Do you value outrage and just doing whatever the TV says? Do you like being at the mercy of a CNN headline? Black man shot by police. Don't need facts. All I know is black man shot by police and immediate outrage thermometer just goes up. I'm pissed off. Now I gotta go in the streets. Do you value that? Do you value rationality or do you value radical? Are you rational or radical? Rational meaning, okay, maybe we should have closed borders. Maybe we can't raise the minimum wage to $15. You know, maybe we can't provide everyone health care at the taxpayer expense? Or do you believe in radical agendas like we're going to have open borders, everyone's getting a big house, it's going to be paid for, everyone gets free education, and we're raising the minimum wage to $15? Well, a rational person might be like, well, wait a minute, we got to pick. We can't have all of those things. How's that going to work? Are you on the side of common sense, or do you value nonsense? Common sense might be, you know, it's probably not a good idea to release your DNA test results right before the midterm elections and anger the Native Americans by pretending to be Native American. Or do you believe in the nonsense of like, well, I'm this percentage Native American, so I'm Native American, I'm a minority, now I get minority benefits, and I experience racism now too because I have Native American in my blood, so therefore that one drop rule, you know, I'm experiencing racism. So just that, man. Like, do you want truth or do you want lies? We know the Democrats lie. They lie about every single thing. They pretend to care about things. They pretended to care about those kids at the border. They pretended to care about Christine Blasey Ford. As soon as she no longer fit their agenda and they couldn't advance their agenda based on her victimhood, perceived victimhood, they kicked her to the curb. You know, they're not focused on anything but whatever advances their agenda, which is regaining power. You know, what this really boils down to, guys, is right or wrong. Do you like things that are right, or do you prefer things that are wrong? I think it's wrong to force someone to provide someone health care. It's wrong to assault someone in the streets. It's wrong to want to ban someone's freedom of speech. So it's right or wrong. That's what's on the ballot. These things are all on the ballot. Good and evil is on the ballot. Do you think it's a good thing to push pedophilia and transgenderism on kids? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Is that good or is that evil? Also, do you want to vote for America or Venezuela? Because both of those are on the ballot. Do you believe in sovereignty or global governance? Right? Do you want open borders or do you want a wall? Vote your values, people. This is about voting your values. This is not about Democrat, Republican. This is not about Trump versus the establishment. This is not about black versus white, man versus woman, gay versus straight. It's not about any of that. It's not about any of that. It's about your values. And for my black brothers and sisters watching this, let me say this to you, okay? You say that black conservatives are siding with the racists. We're siding with the KKK and neo-Nazis. Let's say, for example, for the sake of argument, that you're right. Let's say that the Republicans are actually the Nazis and the racists and the fascists. Let's say all of that's true for the sake of argument. Even though it's not, let's say it's all true. Does that mean that your values aren't freedom, free thought, unity, civility, rationality, common sense? Do you want America or do you want a third world socialist country based on values? Does that mean you wouldn't vote Republican? Like, oh, because there's KKK over there, I'm going to vote Democrat. Well, let's go back to the 1930s, okay? In the 1930s, blacks started voting Democrat in the 1930s. Why? Because the promises of the New Deal by FDR, which were coincidentally the first government assistance programs. So you had Social Security and I believe Medicaid and maybe another one. Black people started voting Democrat then. That is when there actually were Ku Klux Klan members in the Democrat Party. That is when they were actually on that side. So the blacks in the 1930s voted their values because they left the party that freed them from slavery and it was on their side to join the side of evil. They joined the Ku Klux Klan. They started voting Democrat in the 1930s. This is when you had 100,000 plus KKK members, you know. So they voted their values then, knowing that they were siding with an actual enemy. Do you scrutinize them? Do you judge them for that? Or did they vote their values? Okay. So just something to think about. Blacks sided with the enemy, the actual enemy, in the 1930s. And they've been on the side of the enemy ever since. I'm not letting Democrats off the hook today. They are still the enemy of the black people. They are. They're the enemy of minorities. They're the enemy of white people. They're the enemy of everyone. They're the enemy of the United States of America. So vote your values this coming November. And because I said some stuff in here that's too much based in fact, I said too much truth, this came across as too real, I do believe that YouTube is going to demonetize this video. That's totally fine. But if you do want to donate, I will put links in the description. If you're watching on Facebook, same thing, I'll put links in the description. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.